Hi,
Yeah,
Gab.
I just gotta pee real fast. 1 second.
Yes. I'm gonna pee too.
Yeah. Please. Oh, you know what? We'll all pee. Gab, you could sit here and think about the decisions you've made in your life.
I got tagged in this video on Instagram, and it is my new favorite video of all time. Rob, it's a red carpet interview with you. You've got to be 13. 14.
Oh, I know what it is. You were with my accent?
Oh yeah.
It's just everything. It's your accent. It's what you say. You're staring so intently at the interviewer. You're giving him like your full attention as a little kid on it's so good. Casimir, you're gonna love it.
Yes, Rob has sent this to me before.
Okay. I thought I was bringing you both something really amazing.
But it is very good.
I'm like, yeah, you never know.
You're like, hopefully I have a say in the girl.
Yeah.
All right, so
which, by the way, you guys being anti-hetero, we have a lot to talk about this pod. I'm just saying.
He's come. He's prepared. I haven't thought about the gay stuff once.
No, I actually didn't think about it until our pod came out.
Okay.
And then
you listened and got fired up?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll play this now.
It was pretty fun.
Now, the coming season starts in July?
Yeah. We should be getting the first script pretty soon.
Yeah. Pretty soon they're probably going to create some love interests for you now.
Yeah. I hope I get to pick out my own girls. That would be pretty cool. Yeah.
How do you enjoy working on The Sopranos?
Oh, it's great. Everybody on the cast is great. I get along with everybody. They invite me places here.
They invite me places.
Are you surprised that the show has taken off as it has and people have such an interest in it?
Yeah, after I read the first 2 scripts and after I met the cast, I knew it was going to be big, but I didn't think this big, how it is now.
Is it reruns for the summer now?
Yeah, right now we're just starting, and even I'll be walking down the street and I'll hear people talking about Sopranos and stuff like that.
I'm so young, but my voice is still raspy because at that point I was smoking Marlboro Reds.
But you know what I love so much about it is I watch that and I'm like, he is the antithesis of a kid actor who gives an interview on a red carpet. Do you know what I mean? You were just as if they talked to any New York kid on the city street. That's why I love it so much.
I love that. I've only seen it one other time. It's like the first time.
It holds.
Time. Did you speak like that normally, or was that your show voice?
No, that was me. That was out on
that high.
That had nothing to do with the show. Yeah, I was hanging out. I was on a red carpet.
And my accent used to be very similar to Rob's. It's just change over the years.
Yeah, I hope I get to pick out my own girl.
It'll be good for the show.
They knew it wasn't going to be big, but they invite me places.
Yeah, they let me tag along. Yeah.
Here. They invite me places. Here. It's so fucking bad. I'm grateful that somehow 3 years later, I guess I turned into I didn't have this savage accent, if I had that now, it'd be bad. I went on a date.
Really like if you still.
You sound like Joe Pesci.
Yeah. I went on a date one time where we didn't talk on the phone before, and then we met, and that was what was going on. She had an accent like that, and it was man, it's instant. As soon as 30 seconds into it, I was like, wow, okay, this will never work. But now we have 4 hours together, 6 hours.
The voice is very important. The voice is very important.
Is it?
Well, there's some things that are just to me, people aren't gonna like to hear this. Sorry, any of our fans who are in Boston, but when a girl has a Boston accent, I'm just I'm not attracted to it. Yeah, I'm just not attracted. It turns me off. I don't know how else to.
Yeah, it is. Look, it's not a deal breaker, but it is something that you might need to adjust for. It's fun. Everyone's allowed to be their own person.
That's right.
But then there are that goes the other way, where when girls have the Aussie accent, the UK accent, I'm like, oh, you're just getting hotter by the minute.
Yeah. We just watched a TikTok where this chick's chugging a Sprite, and I it's really funny because she ends up just she tries to chug the whole thing without burping, and at the end she just lets out this violent burp. But you won't make it unless you hang in there for a minute. And the only reason we kind of hang in there is because she's pretty. And then she has a British accent.
To be honest, I wouldn't have hung in if you didn't tell me to watch it.
Right.
You were like, you got to watch this. It's like a minute and a half. And she's just like,
That's
sitting
very
in her-
long for what we've gotten used to.
We live in such a crazy world where like there's people on the side of the street filming themselves drinking a Sprite. And it's like totally normal. Like it's.
Can I ask a question? So if someone makes
No.
a video like that, if someone makes a video like that and it goes viral, then do they make money from it? Is that the goal in making a viral video?
I don't know if you make money if it's your first viral video, at least on YouTube.
But then if you continue with the content, hopefully you get some kind of.
It's your hook into people. So you try and develop an audience off that one.
And on TikTok, you know how on Instagram, if people are being paid, it has to either say like paid by, or you have to write #ad or sponsored. But on TikTok, you don't, because brands pay people to TikTok.
I was under the assumption that anytime there's like an integration with like a brand, you have to specify
It's obvious you're
it.
paid. Oh, you
But
do.
like but then you can also get paid based on like revenue sharing. Like, so if we were on talking about YouTube, you would get paid so many dollars for every however many thousands of views. So you get paid on the views, and then you can also get paid on the brand integration. Then you can also get paid on top of that on subscriptions now. So people pay like $5 a month. So there's a lot of different ways to get paid. I think on TikTok, it's always fun to see people try and parlay one of their viral video into a career, because there's like this dance of like, well, now people know me as like the girl drinking Sprite who burps. What's my next video going to be? Am I going to do it with a Coke? You know, and then what if she tries to show?
TikTok itself will pay them?
I think you can get paid through TikTok, but to be honest, I don't know. And that but what I do hear is that the views are fake on TikTok. Like they're overly inflated. Like, I'm not saying they're not real, some of them, but like, I think.
What about Rob's dad's video? Is that a lie?
I don't think it's a lie. I think it's a successful video, but I think there's something to TikTok making it look like your video can do so much better on their platform, which attracts more people to go to their platform.
Well, that video did like 20 times better when you put it on Instagram and it went to Facebook and this.
Right. It did do much better on Facebook. I think it's over 15 million views.
More.
Number one comments like, who's Rob?
Right.
You know, because once it gets out of our like
listeners.
But by the way, it's like, if you watch that and you don't know who Rob is, you're such an idiot. Like, I'm like, how could somebody watch this? And I'm not saying you should know who I am. You should figure out that when my dad goes, is Rob going to be on? Is Rob going to be on? And then I come on the screen and he starts screaming and he's happy.
Right.
There's the answer to your question. Who's Rob?
Right. I think their question is like, why is Rob an important person? Like, who is he in the Super Bowl commercial? Because when they're getting that video, it's just part of a scroll. They're not, they didn't go to our channel to watch it. It's like randomly in their algorithm.
Right, but if they don't know from a Sopranos Super Bowl commercial who it is, then you just don't know who someone's going to explain to you like, oh, he's the guy from
Sopranos. I think I would know, but there's also just so many people that I think wouldn't know. And then,
even let's say I had never watched Game of Thrones, which I hadn't before COVID. And there was a Game of Thrones commercial and somebody was going, who's Fred? And then at the end, when the guy came on, like, the guy was like, oh, there's Fred. Like, how would I be like, well, who's Fred?
Yeah.
Like,
Fred's my favorite.
And by the way, if there were
Thrones.
some comments like that, I would totally understand. But like you said, it's the number one comment. Like, everyone's just as dumb.
Everyone's dumb. And like, when there's one person that's dumb, all the other dummies feel okay to come out and be dumb. You know,
who's wrong?
There's no shame in being stupid anymore. You know, it's almost an advantage, I'd say. Do I sound really old, like a crotchety old man?
No. Jamie,
something. Who we are, just embrace it.
Yeah, 100%. Jamie, something I wanted to know is like, have you ever had to do you ever have to tell Bo randomly at times, like, hey, don't talk about this at school, like, or like, don't tell your teachers that this just happened, because sometimes something could happen at home, and then if a kid repeats it at school, it's like, no, that's not, because it's not in context. Maybe
the Super Bowl commercial.
You told him not to tell his classmates that you were in a Super Bowl commercial?
Yeah.
Because you were afraid of what?
Like
Well,
with Get Out.
Yeah, or
like
someone
that you did before it came out.
before anyone knew it. Yeah,
Right. I'm talking more so
Yeah.
like things happen at home and
like
because
family secrets.
family secrets or thing that where like you might look, you know, it might like if it's like if somebody repeats something, especially a kid at school out of context, it could seem like, well, you know, or if a kid could be like, oh yeah, my dad hit my mommy, like, you know, but it doesn't make sense in the way that they're actually saying it.
Yeah. Mommy smokes special cigarettes in the kitchen
Yeah.
after dinner.
Yeah. And then she doesn't talk to me.
I go outside. No, and then she's the best.
Right.
She's so
She
patient.
holds me and just
Yeah.
or has anything, or even the other way around, has anything ever happened at school where they're like, oh, Bo said this, and you're like, oh, no. What actually happened?
No, because Bo lies all the time. That's to me like what I've got to cover up all the time. I told you we went on. His friend's family came over, and we were talking to the parents, and we took them on a ride around our neighborhood, and she was like, "Oh, is this where Bo dirt bikes?" And I was like, "What?" She's like, where he dirt bikes before his competitions, because there was like this little trail. And I was like,
Yeah.
he has never been on a dirt bike in his life. And then the kid's dad turned around and goes, what about the fight with the Russian? I'm like, what's the fight with the Russian?
He's like Bert Kreischer.
Bo told them that he is a competitive dirt bike racer since he's 6. And he was in an international race where there was a Russian kid who tried to trip him and he punched him.
Holy shit. I wonder why he said Russian. Oh, because of all the stuff going on in Russia. He's hearing
That's a good
Russian all
point.
the
Maybe
time.
he did, maybe.
Watch Rocky 4.
Yeah.
But like,
Jeez,
I'm
that's
too busy
so
covering up his shit to ask him to cover up anything for me. It's crazy.
We got to do a weekly segment that's like this week's lie.
But
you know?
all right, I'll start putting a note section in my phone because it's daily. Like it's every
Is that the craziest one that you've heard so far? The Russian
That's
tripping.
really
So that's
fun.
up there.
last year we had just moved there and his allergies were so bad. Remember I showed you the picture where he looked like all blown up and he went to school. Mind you, he's like 3 weeks into school, brand new kid, new state, everything.
Brand new kid.
He goes, his teacher emailed me and was like, I hope Bo's feeling better. I can't believe kids play so rough in hockey right at this age. I was like, what? She's like, his eyes, he said they were swollen from his hockey, like someone was hockey fighting at his Saturday hockey league. I was like, he has allergies.
See, but here's what I got to say. With the other thing, with the dirt bike thing, as a parent or whatever, I would be bothered by that because I'd be like, God, it's bothering me that he's just making this stuff up out of nowhere. Where lying about, like, if he's a new kid in school, like I could see a little kid not wanting to be like, I have really bad allergies. Like,
Of
you know, I
course.
could see him being like, hey, how could I make this fucking cool instead of maybe just what kids might make fun of and be like, well, I got in a fight in hockey. You want to fucking talk about it? Like, you know, it's like,
For
oh, okay.
sure. But what I tried to explain to him though is that I said, I'm like, why do you feel like you need to make stuff up to be cooler? Like you're really cool, just you. Like you don't have to say your life is anything different or more special. Maybe these are dreams you have and things you want to do, but like it's not going to make you cooler. And I was like, and people are actually going to start to not like you when you do lie. But what the problem I really have with it is the reflection it has on me as a parent. Like, do you think I'd let him in a hockey league at 6.5 years old where they fight? Or do you think I'd let him dirt bike? And like, what are you talking about? So I told him, I'm like, you're on a slippery slope because as you get older, you're going to talk about older person things. And the more you lie, it's not only you that it makes look bad, it makes me look bad. And I'm not down with that. I told him, I was like, I have your back with everything, but if you lie, see ya, I don't got you. I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to back you up. I'll be there to like help you when you cry, but I will not back you up if you lie.
And what was his response?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Like, I don't know.
That's what he says?
Yeah, he says yes, ma'am now because all his friends say it to their parents. So.
Oh, wow.
As he started
I
saying
can't wait till
y'all.
we get out there.
He says y'all all the time.
So cool. He's an actor. He just
He is
assimilates so quickly.
1000%. I'm going to send you guys a video of when he was up to bat yesterday at his baseball game and he had 2 strikes and he stood there and he was like, oh man, come on. To the point, and it was literally still going on this long, where the adult coach pitcher is just waiting for him to get back in stance so he could pitch to him. And the moms are looking at me and I'm like, I don't know. It's like, I think he thinks he's being filmed like at all times of his life. Like,
so
I don't know
good.
what is happening, but he is 100% an actor.
He would have no
doubt.
problem kissing another guy.
None.
Great segue.
Thanks, Biff. Just imagine this was your first day on Earth and you took your first shit. And I said, well, here, you got two options. You could wipe your butt with this paper and then go about your day.
Yes.
Or I got this thing. I'm going to shoot water on your butt. It's going to make it all go away. And your day is going to be so much. It's not even really a choice anymore. Get a tushy.
Hello, Tushy. It's a attachment bidet to your toilet. You don't need to hire an electrician. It is simple as can be. You could do it for yourself. It installs in less than 8 minutes. It cuts down your toilet paper use by 80%, not only saving you money, but saving paper waste. It is the best attachment, and we want all of our listeners to have clean butts just like us. So visit hellotushy.com/pajama to get 10% off plus free shipping right now. So tag us and Hello Tushy on social media too, so we can celebrate your clean bum bum with you. That's hellotushy.com/pajama for 10% off.
That's right. Shout out to my 4 p.m. Spritz boys. Gang, gang.
And here's what else you think about, right? Imagine someone threw poop at your butt. Well, you'd want water to wipe it off, to get it off, right?
You're at a zoo. You're in front of the chimpanzees.
Uh-huh.
They go ahead. They reach in.
Yeah.
Chuck it right at you.
What do? You go,
You
oh, I got
were
a
mooning
napkin.
them. You
I
were
got a
mooning.
napkin. No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were mooning them.
Their shit lands right in your butt crack.
Right. What do you do?
Oh, you're going to go over to the hot dog area, grab a few of those white little napkins.
Or you got a guy with a hose.
Go to the animal trainer with a hose.
That's Hello Tushy, baby.
Ringy ring, ring-a-ling-ling. We all love the Ring video doorbell videos. We know I have one in our house, but I don't know if you guys know this, but there is also a Ring alarm security system that is awesome. The Ring Alarm Pro is a whole home security with available professional monitoring. When you subscribe to Ring Protector Pro, it gives you peace of mind day and night. It combines with your Wi-Fi security. So you are golden. It is so easy. You can install it yourself. It helps protect the entire home, like I said, with the Wi-Fi. It's a combined home security system, and this thing will protect your entire network.
I've teamed up with Ring to give myself a little peace of mind and those that are in my house that I care about a little peace of mind. And it's easy to install. And if you guys want, you can have a professional monitoring service that's a whole lot less than other unmentioned alarm companies. It's true. Ring has an award-winning alarm, and to protect my home, I've gone pro with Ring Alarm Pro. To learn more, go to ring.com/pants. That's ring.com/pants. Support the people that support the show. Now back to the pod.
Bring it. What's up? You still
Listen.
upset about that combo?
No, not at all. No,
Okay.
I'm fucking, my feet are in the dirt, babe.
This guy's never been straighter.
Yeah, I'm digging my fucking heels into the, and you know what's funny? It's like when you say something like this, they're gonna go, "Oh, see, Rob said he wouldn't play a gay guy." No, that's not what I said. Like I so clearly said in the thing, I would have no problem playing a gay character, but people just like we're in such a fucking society where it's like people want to get offended, and there's like some sort of value in that. So they hear, like, you say something and they just hear what they want to hear to be able to get fucking triggered to go like, oh, it's like, shut the fuck up. That's not what I said. And by the way, if you have a problem with what I said, that's one thing. But when you say one thing so clear and then people are like, he said this, like he wouldn't play a gay guy. Not what I said at all. Play a gay guy, no problem. And here's what, to go back into the conversation, right? What I was thinking about, where like, so kissing and making out for fucking hours and hours is no big deal. But when I say like, oh, I don't think it's that different from oral sex or jerking somebody off or this, and people are like, oh my God, that's crazy. Why? I wonder why there are, like, one of the big things with hookers and porn stars and stuff is they go, I don't kiss.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
Well, they
It's
say
too
'cause
intimate.
More intimate.
Yeah.
Is this
my
your
point.
argument? Yeah. All right.
It's fucking.
Yeah, but Rob, I
Would you
get the point, but you'll do it with a woman.
What do you mean?
Meaning you'll act making out with a woman.
Yeah, because that's something I would do in real life and have no problem.
Right, but
with
I
that.
think, but porn stars, it's like, it doesn't matter men or women because it's too intimate.
No, but in their real life, they'll make it. No. These porn stars they're fucking, they're kissing broads.
All right. What's gayer? Sitting around, cuddling, kissing a dude for 2 hours.
Okay, wait. I know what you're gonna say. Hold on, because I had this talk with my manager, who's a gay guy, that I wanted to have this conversation
Yeah.
with, to be like, you see, and then like what the crazy thing again, it's like what he said to me is the same thing you guys said, where it's like, oh, Rob doesn't see a difference between the making out and the sucking dick. And again, that's not what I said. What I said was, I don't think it's that big.
No, I never said
Of
you
a
think
difference.
it's the same.
No,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we were talking about it though, it was like, and again, what I said is,
Well, I think
don't
Cassim
think
and
the
I
lead-
thought it was very different. So that's why I think we
Yeah,
were.
I do think it's very different.
and I
Yeah.
understand that you think it's very different, but my point is not that I don't see a difference, which
Right.
is what people say. Like, how do you not see a difference between this? I do.
He sees a
I
difference.
see there's
guys.
a difference.
He sees
What
it.
I don't see is how it's like, oh, making out, yeah, that's totally like, you should want to make out for 6 hours in a bed, but you think it's not that different from sucking dick? You're insane. Like, I don't see that jump of how it's insane to think that laying in the bed for 6 hours is one thing, and then as soon as like your hand goes on a cock, like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, to me, I don't see the
Well,
big difference.
Well, if I was in a scene with another actor and we had to make out and stuff, okay, it's work. But then if I like his dick was in my hand, I was like, this is not acting.
But I think that is something that we made up, this fuzzy thing around it. Like, okay, movies weren't around 80 years ago, right? So imagine going up to somebody 80 years, or when would movies come out? 100 years ago? 100? Okay, when was the first
What was
time?
the first film, Gabby?
When was the first gay scene where a guy was making out with a guy?
Well, that's
let's
more
say-
recent.
Oh, in France, and they were filming that shit in like the teens.
Okay, so imagine going up to somebody 100 years ago and going, no, you don't understand. When they were making out
1888.
in 1888, but the first gay scene was probably what, 1960s, 70s or so, who knows? Now imagine in 1887 going up to somebody and going, no, you don't understand, man. When they were making out in that bed for 6 hours, they were
1895.
Okay.
First gay
For
scene.
gay.
Was it French? You got to tell me. You got to tell me if it was in France.
The first notable suggestions of homosexuality on film was in 1895 when two men were shown dancing together in the William Kennedy Dixon motion picture, The Dixon Experimental Sound
Hey,
Film.
I'll dance with a dude all day.
Commonly labeled
I'll dance with
online
you for hours.
it's commonly labeled online as the Gay Brothers.
I'll slow dance and fast dance with you. I'll do a cha-cha and I'll do a nice slow
You can hang in
your
there,
head on
breathe
my-
into my neck.
Well, see, that's where it's getting a little wild.
First gay kiss in film history is 1927.
Okay, now, so let's say,
The roaring
imagine,
20s.
you know, in the 1870s, just saying to someone who's
Right
never
before the
seen a
Depression.
movie, never seen anything, and you go, no, you don't understand. When they're laying in the bed making out for 6 hours with their clothes off, they're pretending, but what? And then somebody's like, but then imagine trying to explain to them, like, no, but if he touched his penis, it's insanity. Like, it's so different from laying in bed for
It
6
is.
right. But I'm
As
saying,
an actor.
I don't see that. I don't think it's that different.
I think we all.
and if it is that different, it's because we make that up. Like, if it was totally normal to go, well, hey, no,
I think
no,
you shut a part of your brain off. At least I do. When I have to do any intimate scenes, there's a literal part of my brain that's completely shut off.
and why does that get turned on by if you just rubbed his cock?
Because that makes that we've decided takes us out of it. But that also, like, to me, really I don't know, like, because that because when you shut off the part of your brain, you're not getting sexually aroused. You're physically going through motions, and your body has a muscle memory of what it's like to be in a sexual relation with somebody. When you start adding like somebody getting hard or like touching genitals, and you're actually starting to physically feel like you're getting off, that's when it goes to a different place. So that's why I say when you touch someone's privates, it's different, because then you can't help it. Then you start getting aroused, then you're getting into it, and then it's different. Then that part of your brain is not shut off.
I don't think it's true that, and again, I'm not some fucking trained actor. I've never done anything to train in acting. I'm not some fucking serious actor, but I don't think it's true to go, well, every actor, when they're doing scenes in this, there's no sexual thing. We're completely turned off. Like, I think if you talk to guys, a lot of guys, and you might go, hey, you know what? Yeah, 9 times out of 10, I know for that. But there are times where you go like, oh, like, hey, this is fucking hot. And by the way, sometimes it depends on the scene, right? Sometimes you're in a scene where it's so technical and like, okay, we're going to move the camera this way. And then you're going to have to move your leg. And when you're doing that stuff, yeah, I think it has been turned off for me where I'm like, okay, because you're so trying to figure stuff out. But then there's times where it's like, okay, when we say action, you guys are just going to lay here for 45 seconds making out. And when that's going on, it's just, you're fucking laying there making out. Like, and I'm not saying that there are not.
I think I've just never really been attracted to somebody I had to do that with, really. Aside from one person.
Yeah, you one of them was your boyfriend.
That's what I'm saying. Aside from my boyfriend, yeah.
All right, so it happened to you.
Yeah,
but he was my boyfriend.
Okay, but I'm just saying it's possible. But why wasn't that part of your brain turned off?
Because he was my boyfriend.
Okay, again, something that a decision that we decide.
A decision I made, yes.
Yeah, you're like,
correct.
Okay, now I'm going, and I think, I don't know. I just, and again, okay, what happens have you ever been doing a sex scene? Kasim's just gone.
Sorry, I was trying to get the background.
Have you ever been doing a scene where you felt a guy getting hard, Jamie?
Yes. I didn't like
it.
I know it happens, but I didn't touch it. It like hit my leg or something. Yeah, on my leg or whatever. I didn't grab it.
You guys are anti-hetero. And as a heterosexual man, we just have to sit here and take this kind of stuff because no one's on our side. And
drag him, King.
Well, what was the consensus? What were people writing in? What were people saying, or have people?
There's everything from Rob's just not a serious actor, which I said, but then like there was somebody who's like, I don't know why it's people get offended that I might be uncomfortable laying in bed with a guy for 6 hours making out with him. Like there's people who, again, we're in this time where like people they want to get offended, and it's like if you're not so, and again, I'm not in any way like anti fucking gay or that, like but it's like people want to hear, they want to take, if you're 99% pro gay and then you say one thing that they feel like is like 1% that they're like, oh, you really feel this way. Like they want you to, which like, I don't give a fuck. Like people could fucking listen. I got that Super Bowl money. I'll move to fucking Mexico. Baby. I'll be on the beach every day. Fuck everybody.
My Super Bowl money's not taking me that far, Rob.
Yeah, because you have fucking 2 kids, a giant home, and $10,000 chairs.
Yeah, one kid.
That's not my life, babe.
You got one kid who's a dirt bike racer fighting Russians. And the other with ear infection.
I got nothing going on, game. You know how much anything could take me so much further than it could take you. It's just facts. Like and again, think of it like when people, it's crazy the money that people have to spend when they have 2 children.
Dude, my brother came over a couple of weeks ago with his 5 kids. I had to grocery shop 4 times in 6 days. Like I bought so much fruit, so much food. It was gone the first day. I was like, how? Oh my God. I looked at him. I'm like, just feeding them is so much fucking money.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I look forward to getting a few kids so I can not do any of the stuff that I like anymore. I'm ready for that. You know what I mean?
I'm not.
Yeah. I have a friend who had a baby recently from home, and you can warn them as much as you can about like the realities of parenthood. But like, I think when people have babies much later in life, like they just like think it's going to be all right. They've seen babies, they've seen people with babies, they've got it. First couple
do
weeks,
you
they're
think-
like, oh, it's no big deal. Cut to like at 6-7 weeks, and they're like, what the fuck? I have no time to do anything for myself. I am so sleep deprived. I'm like, I didn't want to be the friend that was like,
Yeah,
I
you
was
kind of
gonna
have to let
tell
people
ya.
figure it out.
For sure.
How do you think I'll handle being a dad?
I think you're going to be great. I actually really think that you're going to be great. I think that you've been through enough therapy in your life that I think that you're going to be able to really slow down with the mother of your child and like understand where she's at and where you need to show up. I think that was like the hard part for Cutter and I in the beginning, because he was so young and I was young too, but like doing it alone. I didn't have any help. I was traveling with him on the road with this brand new baby and like
figuring it out.
And I had a postpartum depression. I was having a really hard time, and he just didn't know how to show up for me just because he just didn't have the tools. It wasn't his fault, but that made it even harder for me. And I think that, again, because I think you have done so much work on yourself, that you're going to be a really good partner and a great dad.
That's so nice. Thank you. I do think that the older I've gotten, the more space I think I have available to like allocate towards anything other than myself. Even though, you know,
your world gets smaller as you get older because you curate it more. It's just what happens. Like you just really feel like, where do I want to spend my energy? I've explored this world to some extent. I feel like I know what I like. I know what I want. And then when you bring a kid in, you're going to have to understand there's going to be a lot of sacrifices within your life. But you also probably have this feeling of, and honestly, where I'm at now, where Cutter isn't yet, he's 32, I'm 40. Like, I don't get frustrated that we're not doing things, and he can sometimes because I've done so much shit. I'm like, I'm fine. As much as a homebody he is, I think sometimes he gets worked up that he can't just pick up and go golf every day or whatever when he's done with work and this and that.
Look what I wrote down here. Yeah, Jamie, this is sorry to interrupt.
And I get really
I could
frustrated.
read that. I do see the word golf.
I get really frustrated because, you know, I'm just like, dude, we're fucking parents. This is how it goes. But I get it. And it's just, you know, I think when you're an older, you're able to accept that change in your life more.
Yeah.
I think Cassim's going to be a great parent for all the reasons you said, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he's done work. But what I also think is Cassim's interests involve time, but not time away from people. Like I have friends who have had kids and they're fine with that. And then I have friends who like, I was going to say golf, where it's like, they like to, you know, 4 hours every week to go and they leave and they do so, where I think Cassim's interests can be all done in this room.
Well,
you could be done at home.
Yeah.
And your kid,
yeah.
you'll get your kid into the things you are.
Yeah, but also like if you give a somebody who likes to like go out and do stuff and be social in this 20 minutes, they can't do anything with 20 minutes. You give Cassim G 20 minutes.
Yeah.
He's changing the
I'm
day.
Making trades. I'm reading books.
Yeah. What are you trading?
Oh, everything.
Oh,
you name it, dude. You name it. I'm trading it, man. My portfolio is thick.
You name it, I'm trading it, man. There's the shirt.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I really do. I do think, you know, there was a time in my life where there was like the thought of having a kid was like, oh, no way. There's no way I could ever think about anything other than myself. And
that's okay.
And that's
you need
fine.
to live your life.
Amen, brother.
And look,
you need that.
My world largely right now just revolves around the things I need to do for myself and want to do for myself, you know, with a few close people in my life. And so, but I feel like if I had to cut down 75% on the things that I do in my spare time now to like care for a child, or like a thing that I've really wanted and look forward to, is like, okay, that's part of the breaks. If it turns out to be 95, I got to cut out, like, all right, that's fine. It's an adjustment. I've watched my cousin who's had a kid go through the same thing where his life was like, he had to work a lot and his life was filled with the things that he liked to do. He liked to build drones and fucking fly them. And like, he had, you know, he would shop for parts and he would do all kinds of stuff. And then he had a kid and like, he seemed to lose all time to do anything other than to wake up, hang with the kid, go to work, do any of that. And it was really rough. And I watched that very closely. I'm like, is that something I could do? And it took some time to think about.
It's a phase. It's a phase of parenthood.
Yeah.
The first year is really fucking hard because not only all like the doing, but you're also so fucking stressed on trying to keep your kid alive for the first year. Like it's all the first, it's all scary. I mean, it gets easier as you have more, but like, it's a shock to your fucking system, your new life, first of all. And you're not sleeping. You're having to go to the doctor with him every few weeks and then every month and whatever. And it's just a lot. It's a lot. And then it just gets a little easier. And then you're in another phase and then that's hard. And then that gets easier. And then another thing comes up and that's hard. And it's just kind of like, I've been through, I think, enough of those like waves that now I'm kind of just riding the parenthood thing out a little bit more. Like Bo's 8, he's getting easier. And I know I'm seeing it coming. There's going to be more shit as this got better, but it's just kind of like life. And then after the baby stage, your kid is like a kid and a person in this world. And like, as they go out in the world, you hear stories of who they are to other people when you're not around. And it's cool. It's really cool to witness. And it's worth it.
Well, a sociopath. He's a complete
psycho.
See, I'm very lucky in that so I have three of my brothers and sisters are 18 years younger than me. So I got to be around them when I was, and by somebody's gonna be like, that makes no sense. 2 of them are twins and the other one is from a different parent.
How about
so
that?
I had my mom, my dad. But so like I know the experience, especially from with the twins, it was so crazy. Like I fully understand the like having no time, having this, but I think the thing that would be really hard for me is like I could do that if that was the only thing. But then when you add to it, like, well, a relationship with a partner takes a lot of effort. And you're going to have no time for that because like, okay, it's the end of the day. The kids are asleep. Ugh, like, what do you want to do? It's like, hey, I think we need to talk because it's like, yo, get the like not, it's like all the other shit that comes with it. And, like I'd be lucky where like I could take a year and do fucking no work, where some people it's like they have their job, they have their relationship, they have their kids, and it's like,
it's a fucking lot. But what Cutter and I have learned very recently, like 2 weeks ago, we took an afternoon and just went on the golf course, the 2 of us, for like a couple of holes and had dinner. It was a weeknight. And we're like, we have our nanny. He was like, I'm done with my meetings for a day. We're like, let's get the fuck out of here. And we just went for a couple of hours. I had margaritas and we got a little loosey-goosey. We came home and I looked at him.
Plural?
Yeah, I had 2 margaritas.
Jesus, you must have been.
Dude.
Because by the way, people who don't know, 1 sip of wine, no exaggeration. When Jamie has her first sip of wine, she goes, uh-oh. She goes, I'm drunk.
She's a coyote ugly. She's on the bar dancing.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, but I looked at Cutter and I was like, hey, I really enjoyed hanging out with you today. And he was like, me too. And I meant it. But when you're in the throes of like throwing back the kid to one each another and like talking about finances and house repair and fucking medicine and this and jobs, and you have to fly out next week and I have to go the next week, it's like you forget about any connection with the 2 of you, that him and I made a promise literally once a week. We're going to take, even if it's just 2 hours of a day when our kids are at school, try like a lunch, something. Like we have to learn how to hang out to remember why we chose each other. Because I'll say it was like getting rough for a minute because I've been traveling so much that I didn't want to be away from the kids when I was home. And when I was coming home, I would tell him, go, leave, go play golf, go do whatever. Like you've been with them for so much, like you need a break. And so while we thought we were doing the right thing, we were really losing our connection. And so it was nice to like just have even just one date, be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, I still choose you.
Yeah, and I bet you get so much mileage out of that one little evening.
So much
spent together. Yeah,
so much.
Good
And
for you
then,
guys.
You know what
I've
else?
got
it's
like 4 days until I'm gonna not care about him anymore.
What you just said too, it reminded me of like, yeah, because you don't realize that things that like it's hard enough trying to maintain the relationship with your partner, but in the beginning of having kid and this, but then I bet a lot of people end up arguing about the choices they're making raising their kids, right? Where it's like, well, you know, like you don't have to grab them every time they cry, and then it's like, no, I do have to, and then like, you know, oh, you don't have to put them to bed every, like they're gonna go to, or like whatever the fucking things are, and then you're fighting over that. So when the baby does go to bed, it's like, oh, do you want to sit and fucking talk about how it's like, no, I just want to fucking, can I please? I just want to chill for a minute. So it's like,
and that's me. And Cutter wants to talk, and that's me. Where I'm like, I need a minute. I need a lot of minutes. Like I just need a break, and he wants to talk.
Somebody did a meme of from
our subreddit.
Yeah, it's like Gabby could put it up.
User Kasim is fine AF.
Yeah. Ooh,
I
think that might be.
Oh, that might be Kasim is my baby daddy reborn.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Shout out.
Shout out to him.
Oh my God, Rob kissing a guy in a Scorsese film.
Yeah.
There's so many of you, Rob.
So yeah, it's the president of the Ukraine or whatever. He's the prime minister. I don't know. And he's over a coffin, and in the coffin is Putin, and it says for Putin it says Cutter. And for the Ukraine guy, it says this week's pod, and he's taking a selfie. Yeah, it'll just put it up here because it's not funny when I describe it. But
oh my God.
What happened? Is that from last pod they did that for?
We just say like one-liners about Cutter where we're because I was like, oh, you were saying like we don't want to disrespect Cutter ever, and I was like, oh, we disrespect him in fine ways, you know, and like other ways or whatever.
The ultimate husband, the ultimate man. Cutter, he takes it all in a good stride. You know?
Me during the football season when we were hanging out here, me and Cutter were texting like every day. We're fucking and then when he moved to Austin, we weren't hanging out on Sundays anymore, and we drifted apart. But now because I'm heading out to Austin, we're fucking talking.
You guys are talking again.
Yeah, I'm like,
I keep seeing your name pop up on his phone. I love it when I see it.
Yeah,
stop staring at his phone. Give him some privacy.
I'm like, Cutter, this is what we need to be doing because I want to go wake surfing when we're out there. That's what I want to do.
We have the guy, we've got the boat. We're gonna go. I was thinking because my birthday's on a Sunday, we could go like Sunday morning. It will depending on the weather. Whether it gets hotter later, then let's go later in the afternoon where it just feels so good to be in the water when it's hot.
It's gonna be great. Yeah. I'm gonna try and get out there for Friday through Monday, fly back on Monday.
Great.
It'd be cool.
However many days, however you want.
2 days. Yeah. No, and if you're depending on how long you're there, maybe I can come back out depending on.
Yeah. That maybe.
And I'm trying to get us, the four of us, a reservation at that sushi bar ATX place I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Hell,
that would be sick. Yeah, it'd be good. I just have to clear it with work, but yeah, at least for 3 days because Fridays are a little lighter for me.
Maybe you could leave, you know, there's like a 6:50 p.m. flight on Thursday that like will get you in at 11:30 at night.
Yeah, I don't get off till 7:38 on Thursdays. That's when we have Attack of the Show, everybody.
That face, love that face, Amy.
We're coming, dude.
How are things going at G4, babe?
Yeah.
Oh, well, look, I got to do a Moon Knight recap show every Wednesday for those of you that are watching Moon Knight on Disney Plus, one of my favorite comic book characters, starring Oscar Isaac, Ethan Hawke. Episode 3 drops this week. We do a recap, debrief, discussion. It goes up, and it's good because, you know, part of the DNA of G4 is comic books, and that's part of why I joined us because I could do a lot of that stuff, and I enjoy it, and we finally, a year into working there, we're finally doing some like substantial comic book content, which I'm happy about. And I'll be drying up pussy all across this great nation, all over cable, internet. Yeah. Tell Christina P.
Yeah.
And anytime she needs to dry up to tune in Wednesdays.
So Jamie, I know you love Perry Caravello when we talk about him. What's that face, Jamie? Whoa.
What did she just say?
Oh my God.
Gabby, we gotta
bleep that, Gabby. Holy shit.
Jamie,
okay.
I've never heard you say that word on this pod before.
Yeah, you just have a
I don't think it's ever come out of my mouth.
Flush. You're red. Your face is red.
Am I?
Jesus. What are you? We'll move on. But I just want to say, he probably made me laugh harder than he's ever made me laugh this week, where he was
The
talking.
clip you sent me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in such a serious way. He said something like, and we've had this discussion on this pod, so it ties in, where a couple, me and Jamie are like of the East Coast, and it might not be East Coast. It just might be how we heard it growing up, where a couple could be 3 or 4, or, you know, if you say like, oh, like a couple minutes or a couple of this, like it's not 2. And Kasim, I think, is right about it. I think it's the true stance is like, when you say a couple, it always means 2.
Yes, there is a chance you give yourself a little leeway to 3.
2 to 3.
It's
2 to 3.
Never more than 3. It's 80 to 90% 2.
Well, even especially these days, 3 is becoming more acceptable as a couple.
Then what's a few?
where
What's
we
a
are.
few
I'd
hours?
As
say
a society.
throuple.
Yeah. So when you say, oh, a couple minutes, it could be these days, it could be 4.
Yeah.
As we move on, as we move forward as a society, I think we're going to get more leeway with a couple and be able to get 3 or 4. And maybe me and Jamie were just ahead of our time.
Maybe. Yeah. You and the Mormons think a couple is like,
Yeah, it could be 7 minutes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what happened was he was saying a couple, and I think by it he meant 5, and the guy would
you're saying
Tom,
Perry.
Yeah.
So they
was
asked
saying,
Perry what a couple is.
No. He used a couple, and the thing had to be 5. And Tom was like, no. It was like 5. And he's like, and so Perry just goes, yeah, well, a couple is like 2 to 5.
Right.
and then Tom is like, no. A couple is always 2. So in a very serious way, Perry goes and explains the whole breakdown to you. And he goes, listen, a few is 5 because 5 starts with F, and so does few. So a few means 5. And he goes, and 7 starts with an S, and so does several. So when somebody says several of something, it's always 7. And the way he said it in such a convincing way, and the reason I think it made me laugh so hard is because people like that teach people stuff. You know, it's like
Are you saying you disagree with Perry?
No, never. I just
the
think
fourth host of Pajama Pants Talk.
I just think it's so great when people are so convinced on something that I've never heard once in my whole life, and he's like, no, this is fact. Like, this is life. Several is 7. Like,
Several
and like
7.
the way
the
he
first
says
3
it,
letters are the same. Actually, the first 4.
Whoa, there's only one.
Yeah.
Whoa, maybe it is. And by the way, maybe it's something we don't know.
I look, I'm with Perry, and I've been with Perry. I've never disagreed with anything he said.
Watching him explain something with such conviction made me laugh so hard. It was one of those things where, like, the next 60 seconds of his stream, I have no idea what he was talking about, because I was just laughing so hard. And by the way, he doesn't crack a smile. Like, it's not a bit. Like, he's 100%, and I love it.
They say it's 80% how you say something and 20%
Totally.
what you say.
Oh,
Yeah, look at guys. I know guys who do so well with women, and they're so insecure, but when they're talking to a woman, they put on that shit, you know, they put on the act.
Yeah. I think that's what Trump's whole appeal is based on that.
Which brings me to my next question.
I was going to say, if you have like a lot of conviction, you can convince people of pretty much anything.
That's what
Bernie Madoff.
acting is. Yeah.
Bernie Madoff.
That's great. I got some emails.
Well, I just said that leads me to my next question.
Oh, I thought you were making a joke.
Well, a little bit of both.
Okay. I thought you were going to be like,
Sometimes
who'd
we
you vote
dance,
for?
Sometimes we dance on the.
No, I'm at the edge. I'm on the edge of my seat. Did you see me get up to do the emails?
You did.
Oh, and that's the one time I shut you down, huh?
You did.
Yeah, look,
Whoa, maybe.
We're in a weird place right now. We need to reconnect. We need to become dolphins again.
Yeah, no, it went into my next question. Good, which is one of my questions that I have is, if there was a pill that everyone could take and it instantly made everyone happy, it would bring world peace, everybody would be fucking kumbaya, no more anger, no more hatred, but the only difference is everyone before they took it had to agree to forgive everyone. You have to forgive.
You have to let go of your resentment
of everything. You have to do it. So
shouldn't we strive
but
for
wait,
that? Yeah.
But you say sure, but then what happens when, okay, so these guys who molested kids, we're letting them out of jail, and you just said, hey, they're the same.
But aren't they on the same pill?
Yeah. But
do they still molest kids?
But by the way, I think there's people who are in prison right now who would say, who molested kids who would agree to be fucking happy forever, and they admit their mistakes in this, but I don't want them out. You know what I mean?
So we have to let them out of jail?
You have to let everyone out of every prison and forgive everything they've done.
But they're not going to be psychos anymore.
Right. But let's say God forbid, right? I don't even want to use this with you. Let's say someone out there who's had their child murdered by somebody. They have to go, yeah, you know what? Like, let's all take
Here's why I would choose
that
it.
guy.
Here's why I would choose it.
The generation.
Because I probably wouldn't be okay if my child was not alive. And if letting him out meant I could be okay, then I would take a pill. It wouldn't be about him. It would be for me.
Yes. And I think that's the way to look at it for the grand scheme of things. But I would understand if there are people, and of course there are, who hold that resentment so hard and they go, no, I couldn't do it. I can't
imagine. And I feel so bad for anyone that has to live with that, like, type of like hatred towards someone. For sure. It's funny you say that, because I was watching this guy I know he lives in Austin. He's really cool motivational speaker, has a really interesting story. His name is Garen Jones. And he told me, like, he went through this really intense process of forgiving, including forgiving the two men that murdered his father, like in his own mind and in his own being. And he's like, every day when I forgave someone, immediately something in my life like would open up. And it was like, I was like letting go of like all of these blocks in my life. But I think it's pretty amazing when people can talk about that type of forgiveness, because could you imagine forgiving the people that took away your parents? So I completely understand. But I think for me, you know where I live on like the spiritual side of things. Like, I just think forgiveness is not for the other person. It's for yourself. It's to release yourself from them. You know what I mean?
I agree totally. But I also understand if somebody was to say, I actually can forgive that person for doing what they did because they're in jail forever and they're serving their punishment. But I don't know if I could forgive them anymore if tomorrow they were allowed out and were just as happy as I am.
But you would be happy, but know that they murdered your kid?
Well, that's the thing. We're making this up, so we could do whatever we want.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
like, are you happy and is your memory erased and it's all good?
No, I don't think so.
Or do you know everything that's happened?
I think you have to know everything and you just have to move forward with a positive. I don't know. I thought of this question and maybe I didn't think about it enough, but it's like, no, I think you have to live with it because you have to forgive. Like it's part of the thing. It's not like a Men in Black thing where it's like, hey, you take this pill and you forget everything. And now we all just move on happy. Or maybe it is. Maybe there's two scenarios, where you take it one way and it's like, hey, now you have to make the decision that you'll forget everything moving forward, but it'll be gone, or that you'll forgive everyone. But I just think I could see somebody saying like, no, like I don't want that person to live this free, happy life after what they did. And I think
that sounds unhealthy to me.
For sure. And I think the evolved way of thinking is the way Jamie's thinking and the way we would think about it. But I've never had someone kill my child. So
sure. Yeah. I mean, look, anyone who's sober and worked a program knows that the whole goal is to
forgive yourself,
free your resentment, like free yourself of resentment, because resentment is the thing that will get you to drink again or like do drugs. And it's the reason we do anything that's not good for us when we hang on to those. Yeah, it would be really tough to know that somebody killed your kid and then potentially is going to be not serving any sort of like repercussions or like, but that's not my problem. It's not for me to decide whether that person is unhappy or not, because I can't control the way other people think and feel. I can only hope to like be happy myself. So my concern would be to be happy, because if I hold on to those resentments, I'm unhappy, and then my life isn't as rich, and I'll start drinking again. That's essentially, it's a good question, because it's, you're giving yourself the out of, well, it's easy to take a pill, but ultimately, and the rest of the world will be okay. But we don't get to get satisfied by this thing that's really probably just important to us and no one else. And that's kind of selfish. Yeah. Love it. That was a Sharpie question?
It was a Sharpie question.
Oh, man, you're bringing it today.
Mhm.
Can I say that?
You can say whatever.
Do you have any more? Should I get to an email before I scoot up to the edge of this seat?
You like to go email? We go email.
All right, let's read an email before we wrap it up.
I'm so fucking pumped to get down to Austin. I'm just ready for like, and again,
Can't
when you
wait.
said like we could do it on this Sunday, the good thing is hopefully Castleman goes back, but even if he doesn't, I'm gonna be there at least 2 weeks.
Yes.
I'm ready to fucking hang.
So much to do.
Hang.
This one's from Kaylin. The subject is erection etiquette. I think we were talking about boners.
Kaylin.
Hey, Chomos. In response to the boner segment on A Great and Wild Pod, I learned a trick all too late to help me during my formative pubescent high school years. The waistband tuck was our young man's meta in my experience, and so much so that a game developed called Mushroom Hunting.
Jesus.
where you were at risk of someone grabbing and lifting the front of your shirt. Where you are at risk of somebody grabbing and lifting the front of your shirt to check for a peeking penis.
Man, these guys got hard a lot.
I wish I was granted the knowledge of this technique to discreetly dissipate a hard dick. The solution is science. The cock is a part of the circulatory system. If you remove the blood, you remove the boner. Flexing your largest muscle groups, thighs, legs, arms, chest, redirects the blood from your member to your muscles and can be done without drawing much attention.
Let me, this kind of puts a shell in, or puts a what? What do you put?
Finer point?
No,
Pin?
it puts like a
pin?
Crog in the wheel. What's
Well, a cog in the wheel is good,
yeah.
but like
No, you put
a monkey wrench,
yeah,
a wrench in the
throws
machine.
a wrench in the plans here because what
We
this
got
lady
there.
Oh,
does-
dude, we're so good. Thank you for tuning into our pod.
yeah,
everyone.
I thought there was something like this throws a, I don't know, somebody help us
It's a,
out.
a wrench.
A wrench in
yeah.
it.
The when you see in American Psycho, the
Mm.
whole time he's fucking, what's he doing?
He's looking at the mirror
He's
and
flexing.
Yeah,
He's flexing, but he's keeping that dick hard.
yeah.
Mm.
That's how he
Well-
was a psycho. He was able to maintain all
Yeah,
that
it was a
blood.
true psycho.
Is there a difference between a boner and then like a focused boner? Like where you
Wow,
want
a
your boner?
phoner?
I
Good
mean,
question.
your boners can have different levels of stiffness. Sometimes
Sure.
you're
Yeah, that's
you're
what I'm
really
saying. So
torqued.
maybe he was like so focused
Yeah.
on wanting that boner that he could keep it while flexing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, just to finish the email, this technique has helped me often since knowing it would.
I want to talk more about the
Have-
degree of boners.
Well, okay.
You
Well,
should sit
thanks,
in that.
Galen.
no, you
No, thanks, Galen. Let's stop.
Where's the
Tell me about your
meme
boner.
of where there's gonna be a meme of me talking about focused boners?
yeah, there's hey, focus boners. There's definitely a big degree of boners. Like and by the way, I think the most intense one for me is the wake up boner. When
yeah.
I wake up, and have a
Jack
boner,
does
it's
not.
like,
Jack
Jesus.
does not like his wake up boner.
Well, he's got them already, huh? What is he?
So now I can
three?
I feel
tell
like
him to
we
flex.
we invade Jack's privacy so much on this pod. It's gross.
We're just talking about his boners.
Yeah,
He's
it's
a
fine.
baby.
I know. We
He's
talk
still a
You
baby.
brought it up.
We talk about him and
No,
and his
meaning it's
massive
fine. He's a little
dog. Now
baby.
it's yeah. All right.
So wait, how he's 3,
He's 4.
4, and when did he start waking up with boners? How old are you when you start waking up with boners?
But you're a baby, you get them.
Yeah,
There's
I know you
sometimes
get
I would
boners as a
change your
baby, but
But sometimes I would change their diapers in the morning and they would have one.
so how does he show his resentment towards his morning boner?
He'll just say, I don't like it. It's big. My pee-pee's big. I don't like it.
Yeah, God, I wish I had that problem. To be
Mom.
fucking angry at how big my pee-pee
Oh,
was.
it's
Bo never has mentioned them to. I don't see Bo naked anymore, really. Like he's not allowed to see me naked for a few years. Like I'll go in there and wash his hair in his shower if he needs me or something. But
Who, Bo?
every once in a while, when he plays baseball and stuff, the pollen and all the allergies in Austin right now are so bad. Like he's really struggling. So sometimes I'll open the shower door and I'll like scrub his head like really good.
I mean, I've
But
seen
I'm
a
saying-
few pornos that start like that.
Yeah.
Let me get the.
But I'm
pollen.
saying
Usually
this
someone else's
because-
mom.
Bo doesn't mention if he gets a boner anymore for a few years. And so I have no idea where he's at with that.
I stopped
And
doing
don't
that
ask
with you a
him.
couple of years ago too.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years. I used to get my daily text from Rob. Not a boner.
Boom, woke up with one again, Yame. We could all.
It's all right, Rob. Just flex those muscles.
Yeah, I'm grateful.
That's what I could have told
That's
you.
a good tip. No, Kaylin, thank you for the tip. I think that's for those of you that are young and you're getting stiff, especially at school, and you need a way to get out of class, or you got to get called up.
But now
to
you're
the
gonna see
board.
everybody flexing.
No, you do
and
it
you're
like
gonna know.
you can. I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing.
Oh, like you telling right now?
Read the last part. Sorry,
The last sentence. This technique has helped me often since knowing it, but would have saved me much embarrassment in my younger years. Hoping to help others by sharing this love the pod, or sharing this info. Love the pod. You three and those behind the scenes help me get through my work and are a delight to my day. Cheers, Kaylin.
Thanks, Kaylin.
Thanks.
Kaylin, you're a mensch.
That's I'm lucky enough to be, I'm 37 now. There's very few times where I'm like, man, I really need this boner to go away. Like, it's usually it's gotten to a point where it's the way I have my poop. Like when it arrives, it's time, it's the other day. I think it was last week. I didn't poop before the pod. It is insane how my body is, where it's like woke up and I only had like 45 minutes before you were coming to grab me. I fucking get ready, go. We come here, we pod, then we were hanging out after. Then I went to go get food, everything. As it must have been 7-8 hours. The second I walk in the door and shut the door behind me, it's like, oh, gotta poop.
Yeah,
It's so great.
your body knows it's
crazy.
it's a sense. Yeah, it's like
You're good to your
butthole
body
sense.
and your body's good to you. You know?
Yeah.
You're
Gives
good.
you good timing.
You're good. We're all
Yeah.
good to our bodies.
Yeah.
Look, I think that's a pod. I do want to tell you guys that we have an email. If you want to send us emails, just like Kaylin did there, it's askpajamapants@gmail.com.
And we also have a PO box that if you look in like the info of our channel where it's like about, and people keep asking for the PO
I got to
box.
make sure these guys aren't stealing my mail.
Yeah, because people keep asking for the PO box, and then they're saying they're sending stuff, and then when Cassim calls the post office, they're like, "Nope, the PO box is empty."
Let's hold off on that until I can check it. And I do have to go check it. But yeah, we will have a PO box. If you guys really do want to send us stuff, we'll be able to give you that info hopefully next week. We're all going to be together in a few weeks.
The info's already up.
Okay. Well, then go look and then take a risk.
Yeah.
Jamie and I are on Instagram and Twitter. Rob's off the grid. Do not try and find him.
I'm on Reddit though. That is me.
Oh yeah, we've got a tremendous Reddit community. r/Pajama Pants Podcast.
My
Join
favorite.
Join the discussion. Make some memes. We also, if you're watching this on YouTube, click subscribe. And-
Somebody said that's not Rob. Rob's off the grid.
yeah,
You always say I'm off the grid.
yeah, good. Yeah. I like that. And until next time, I think that's it. Oh, and thanks for supporting the sponsors, by the way. Support the people that support our show. I know you guys put up with so much getting through some of these ads, but it's really important to us that you guys, know that we need that for the pod to continue. So
And
thank you.
I just want to apologize to all of the heteros out there, the sensitive heteros. Like these
Sensy
guys,
hets?
these guys are learning.
That's
They're just learning now, and they're gonna do better. So
Thank you.
I'm
Thanks
sorry
for addressing that.
Yeah,
Yep.
no problem.
Thank you. Jamie, any last words?
I want to say that I shared a post the other day on Instagram where I kind of just got like a little open and vulnerable about MS because I don't talk about
Yes,
it a lot.
it was a great post.
Thanks. And I took some time the next day to like read through all the comments, and they were so lovely and so supportive. But I just want to shout out all our PJ Pants listeners. You always single yourselves out by referring to me as Yami, and like your support and love to me in that post really meant a lot to me. And also it really meant a lot for you guys to just tell me how I can make you happy and laugh by just being me, because sometimes my life can feel really hard and like dark. So I try hard to not have it affect who I am. So to hear from you guys that like kind of know me, that I give that off, meant a lot to me.
That's really nice to hear. And you just being you is important for like the ecosystem of our friendship, this pod, and you do more than I think you realize by sharing all that stuff and being yourself. So thank you.
Yeah, I don't think I could possibly love you more.
I love you.
I got
Love you
room
so
to grow.
much.
I got room to grow. We'll see what happens
Yeah.
when I come out.
I
there.
just got to host you at my house in Austin and show you a
That's
good
right.
time,
Yeah.
Take me to the casita. I want to swim in that pool. I want to hang with the boys.
We're going to put the heater on. We're going to do some laps.
Uh-huh.
We're going to go on the lake.
Yeah.
We're going to go eat the best sushi of your life.
Yeah.
It's endless.
I'd say it's
You know
endless.
what's weird, Jamie? So obviously I've been around you for 20 something years, and like when I've seen you cry in person, it's such a different feeling from, I'm going to make this about me. It's such
Please.
a different feeling for me
Please.
than when I see you cry on camera. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
in person, it's like my brain is like, oh, I want to hug Jamie and I want to make her feel better, or like, you know, like, or like sometimes it's even like, oh, this is good that she's getting this out. And then on camera, I just feel like a defensive like brother where I'm like, should I be shutting this off? Like, you know, like I don't know how to react. You know what I mean? Like I have the genuine.
You mean like right now?
Yeah, now, or like, you know, it happened on the pod. It happened once when we were doing like an interview. And it's just like I don't like in real life. It's like you're in the moment. I'm hearing you.
Sure.
But this, I have like a small voice in my head that's like I want to be like, shut the cameras off.
Yeah,
like, down. Like, you know,
that's nice. Yeah, I think about
nice.
like we got to come in for a close up. We got to punch in. You know, get those eyes. Yeah, no, that's why we make a good team.
I love you the most, Jamie. I can't wait to see you in less than a month. I'm gonna be fucking up in that casita, baby.
We're gonna be up in it.